So now we move forward, we move to the next kind of the tissue, that is the muscle tissue. So the muscle tissue forms the muscles of the body, the complete muscles of the body, the thigh muscles, all the different places where the muscles are present, even over here. All these muscles are going to be there. The muscles can contract and relax. The complete movement of the hands, legs, everything is going to take place only due to the expansion and contraction of the muscles. When the muscles are going to expand at one point and contract at another point, the hand moves like this. When this gets relaxed and this gets contracted, there is going to be the opposite movement. So all these movements what are taking place is due to the muscles. So muscle movements, or basically muscles, are going to contract and relax. Thus they help the body in movements. There are three kinds of muscles. So the three types of muscles are, the first one is striated. Okay, first one is striated. Sorry, I misspelled it. The second one is unstriated. And the third one is cardiac. So, or the heart muscle. So basically the striated muscles. Striated muscles are under the control of the will. So striated muscles are the voluntary muscles. I moved my hand. I moved my hand up and down. Okay, I straightened my body like this. All these, when the muscles which are acting during that particular thing are called as the voluntary muscles, because they are the one which are in my control. I voluntarily move my fingers, I voluntarily move my body. So when I am doing it on my will and the muscles are acting at that time, they are the voluntary muscles. So voluntary muscles are the striated muscles. So striated muscles are voluntary muscles, they are under the control of the will. They are made up of long fibers which are nucleated and striated. Light and dark bands run across the fibers. So when you see a striated muscle, it will be having a light and dark band. So that is what they are given in the figure, light and dark bands, which is over here. This bands and light dark bands makes it a striated muscle. So they will be the one which will be nucleated, striated, and they have light and dark bands across the fiber. The muscles move only when you want it to. They constitute about 50% of the body weight. These muscles are found in the arms, legs, face, and the neck. Okay, so these are the places, in fact many other places. They are the one which are 50% of the body weight, and they are going to be the one which are in your control. So these are the one are voluntary, or we can say striated muscles. The next ones are unstriated muscles. They are not under the control of our will. We cannot control it completely. Sometimes not at all, sometimes partially. Like for example, can you stop your heartbeat for some few seconds also? No, you cannot. You cannot control the heartbeat at all. The heart muscles, okay, but anyway, they are not the unstriated muscles. They are of a different kind. But let's take the lungs. Can you stop your respiration for a more longer period of time? No. After a certain time, you will have to breathe. Irrespective of कुछ भी कर लो, you will have to breathe in, breathe out. यहाँ lungs का movement चाहिए ही चाहिए. Similarly, the food is going to go down. Are you going to control the food? Okay, नहीं. Now I want to keep this thing. अरे मैंने इतना अच्छा खाया, I'll keep it in my stomach only and not let it go down only. Is it possible? No, you cannot control that thing. It is going to, after a few hours, that food, whatever the best of the food which you have taken, is going to go down into the intestine and all, and it is going to be excreted out, irrespective of whatever it is. Right? So these movement of the muscles which are not in your control, they are the involuntary muscles of your body. These ones are the unstriated muscles. The unstriated muscles are the involuntary muscles. They are the ones which are not in your control. They are made up of spindle-shaped, slender, tapering cells which are unnucleated. So they do not have a nucleus and they are spindle shaped, thin needle-like. So that's what they are given you. The figure they are given you is this one, needle shaped, needle-like, striated, that is the kind which is the unstriated kind of muscle, where it's tapering cells with the uninucleated. So uninucleated means just a single nucleus. They are found in the walls of the intestine, helping in the passage of the food. Muscles of the iris muscle, the black part over there, the muscles of iris. You can see that thing if you take a light and you put it near the light, and you can find that the aperture will open close. You see in a mirror, you can see the aperture is opening closing when the light falls on it. So of course don't put the light directly on your eye. Yeah, it is the muscles of the iris of the skin, of the eye, skin, lining of the blood vessels, urinary bladder, uterus, etc. So all these are the places where it is unstriated muscles which are not in your control. You can control only a small part of it, otherwise they are going to be working on their own. So that is the unstriated muscles. The next one are the cardiac muscles. Now cardiac muscles are a unique kind of muscle which is a combination of the two. Why the combination of two? Because firstly they are striated. So as a structure wise they are striated, whereas the function wise they are unstriated type, means involuntary. Can you control your heartbeat? No. So because they are involuntary, that's why they are of this kind. But because the shape wise they are striated, means having the white and black bands, that's why it is this kind. So structure wise this, function wise this, hence a different kind completely, which is nothing but the cardiac or the heart muscles. Cardiac muscles are involuntary in function and found in the walls of the heart, or found only in the walls of the heart. The fibers of the cardiac muscles are striated, uninucleated. See, they are striated like this. Like this, they are uninucleated. That is only a single nucleus. And branched. So they have got branching over there, as in the case of the striated. They are relatively short. They can contract without outside stimulation and do not get tired soon. So main reason to have this kind of a separate kind of a muscle is they do not get tired soon. That's the reason our heart doesn't get tired. वो नहीं बोलता कि अरे मुझे अभी एक दो दिन के लिए आराम करना है, तो मैं बीट कर रहा बंद कर रहा हूँ. No, never. अगर हुआ तो गया. Right, so we see that the cardiac muscles, you can see the figure over here. You can see it is white and darkened light bands as stated, but they have got a nucleus, so there is only one nucleus over here, so they are uninucleated. So this is how the cardiac muscle looks like. So these are the three kinds of the muscle tissue, that are the striated, unstriated and cardiac. We move finally to the nervous tissue. So nervous tissue, now before I need to draw the nervous tissue so before I go to the drawing of the nervous tissue, so I can just recap this thing so that I can erase this part and draw the part of the neural tissue. So we see over here the animal tissues are divided into four kinds. The epithelial tissue, that is a covering, protection, outer covering, that is epithelial. Connective, which is the connection between two or more objects or organs or maybe tissues, that is a connective. Muscle tissue, which are going to help in the movement of the body, so muscle tissue. And finally the neural tissue, which is connecting the or controlling the nervous system, that is the neural tissue. So neural tissue constitutes nervous system. Okay, we'll see that thing when I draw it, as I told you. So in case of epithelial tissue, we have got four kinds of epithelial tissue. The squamous epithelium, okay, the squamous epithelium, then the stratified, the layers type, columnar, cuboidal, like cubes, so they're going to be there, and columnar, which will be thin strip like. They will be of two kinds, ciliated and glandular. Ciliated epithelium will have cilia on top of it, hair-like structures. Glandular will be having some glands inside, so that will be helping it to, and if it is in the kind of folds, like in the sweat glands and all, so that will be glandular epithelium. Connective tissues are of three kinds: connective proper, supportive tissue and fluid connective tissue. The connective proper are of three kinds. First is the alveolar tissue, which is the binding or the packaging type, which is the packaging of the complete body is done, which is helping you to not pull this too much. It's just the strain which is giving you. Adipose tissue is the lining of the just underneath the skin, which is going to be helping you to store the fats for the body. So it's an insulating layer of the body, that is adipose tissue. Fibrous tissue are the ones which are connecting. There's a matrix which is connecting the two things together. That's a fibrous one. The next connective tissue, the supportive tissue. The supportive tissue have two kinds. One is the cartilage. Cartilage is again the fibrous kind, and they are having the matrix. That's the pinna and the nose. They are the cartilages. And the bones. The bones will be the one which is going to be the body movement is there. Yeah, fibrous one was the one which was connecting the bones and the cartilages. So fibrous one will be the ligament, which will be bone to bone connection, and if it is bone to muscle, it will be the tendon. So that is the fibrous and the supportive tissues. Then are the fluid connective tissues, the blood and the lymph. The blood is the one which is going to be transporting the different nutrients and the oxygen and all to the different parts of the body. Even the secretions of any different glands is transported from one part of the body to another with the help of the blood. So blood contains the plasma, that is 90% of it, which is the plasma, which is watery kind of a substance, fluids, liquid. And then the other 10% is the solid part, which is the RBC, that is red blood cells, but WBC, white blood cells, and the platelets. The next is the lymph. Lymph is the place wherever the blood cannot reach those areas. There will be the tissue fluid, which is being the cell, which is the whole cells are covered with, is that particular tissue fluid, which is the lymph. Lymph contains the plasma and the WBC because they need the WBC to fight against the germs which are entering into the body. So that's why that's the lymph. We then have the muscle tissue. The muscle tissue have the three kinds. One is the striated. Striated muscles are the one which are voluntary in nature. That is, they are in our own control. They are the ones which are normally going to have like dark and light bands on it. And the next ones are the unstriated. Unstriated with the one which are not in your control. They are involuntary ones, which cannot be controlled by you, like that ones in the intestine, the urinary bladder and all. They will be the unstriated kind of muscles. And finally are the cardiac muscles. Cardiac muscles are the muscles which are present in the heart, and they have a combination. Structure wise they are striated and also uninucleated like the unstriated ones. But main thing is that they are involuntary and they are not in your control. So heartbeats cannot be in your control. Hence they are a unique kind of muscles, which are the cardiac muscles. Finally, what we see are the neural tissue. So neural tissue constitutes the nervous system. So the complete nervous system, our complete nervous system of our body, that is the brain, the spinal cord, the nerves over here, everything are going to be made up of such kind of nervous tissue or the neural nervous tissue. This tissue is made up of specialized elongated cell called neurons. So these kind of cells are called as neurons. So we are just going to draw a particular kind of a neuron now. So the figure shows a typical neuron or a nerve cell. Each nerve cell consists of a cell body, perikaryon or cyton. So let's keep this thing. Let's start drawing that thing first. So what we have over here is, firstly there will be a part like this. Okay, this will be the basic structure wise. This is the neural tissue. This one over here will be having the part over here which is the perikaryon, or we can say the cyton. So this is over here the cyton or perikaryon. Okay, now in between there is this particular nucleus. Okay, and then over here are another kind of projections which are the ones which are connecting to the other neurons. So these are the ones which are called as dendrons or dendrites. Okay, the dendrons or the dendrons are the complete basic part. The base part is the dendron. This is the dendron. Whereas over here, the branching which is there. So this branchings. So I'll show it over here. This is a branch over here like this. So this branch is the dendrite. Okay, the branching is the dendrite, and the main part is the dendron. So that is the main part. So this part over here is the cyton. So from here to here, this part is the cyton. So they say over here that each nerve cells consists of a cell body, pericardium or cyton containing a nucleus, one or more elongated hair-like extension dendrites or dendrons. One of these, now so this is about the main part, cyton, nucleus, the projections which are the dendrons and dendrites which are over here. One of the dendron and dendrite will be a long projection over here. This is called as the axon, and over here will be the terminals which are called as the axon endings. So you have over here one of these axons may be very long, sometimes as long as 1 meter or even 3 meters as in an elephant. Axon bundled together to form nerves. So you can see the example of this nerves in this one will be, I think we had discussed this thing even when we learned the cell chapter, that the neuron will be the longest one because it starts from the spinal cord which is over here and ends up to the tip of the finger. So right from here to this complete part, almost 1 meter long, will be the one particular cell, that is one neuron. So one neuron could be as long as 1 meter, and in case of elephants it will be as long as 3 meters in the length. So that is why these nerve cells, there are multiple such nerve cells bundled up to form one nerve. One nerve is made up of multiple such neurons present together. So nerve tissue is concerned with the perception and response of animals. So response of animals. So whatever, if I touch a particular thing, okay, I just touched a particular needle and I just remove my hand over there. So that removal was concerned with the response to a particular stimulus, that is the needle pricking me. So that is done with the help of the neural tissue. Now you have to understand this part. Now this axons over here, they have got coverings. So they will be having coverings like this. These coverings over here are nothing but the insulating coverings on top of it, so that the nerve impulses are not getting mixed up. It should not happen that somebody touched my right hand and I am withdrawing my, a needle pricked my right hand and I am withdrawing my left hand. Okay, is it going to, will it help me if my left hand is being pricked and I withdraw my right hand? Is it going to help me? No. So why is it not happening that way? Because the nerve which is over here is insulated, so it is giving you the right place where this particular thing has taken place. Like for example, let's consider, okay, in your room you have got one tube light, one fan and maybe multiple other devices. Is it going to happen that when you switch on the light, the fan also starts automatically? Or you wanted to switch on the fan but light got on? Does it happen? No. Why? Because each and every wire from the switch to that particular device is insulated. So that's why there is no mixing up of the transmission of the electricity from one device to another device. Individually, you have got individual switches working on individual devices. Similarly, individual nerves are going to be helping us to identify the stimulus from that particular part. So when somebody touches, if I close my eyes and somebody touches my this finger, I can know that it is this finger and not somewhere else. I can easily identify. Not only that, you can try this thing even if you close your eyes and ask somebody else to tap on your palm with number of fingers, maybe 2 or 3 or 4, you will be able to identify that how many fingers was used for tapping. whether it was 4 or 3 or 2 or 1, you will be able to identify that thing. Why is it so? Because all these places have got a good number of exon endings, which is very sensitive and helping you to identify exactly that what is being sensed over here. Okay, so that's why these exon is insulated by this particular layer, and this insulated layer is called as the myelin sheath. It's myelin sheath. Apart from the myelin sheath, there is also one more inner layers over here. Then they are one called as the neurolemma. Okay, it is neurolemma. Okay, so the myelin sheath, the neurolemma, which are there, and then there are also some nucleus inside. So there will be some nucleus over here. So this is the sheath and this is the nucleus. Okay, and this gap between over here, this one over here, this gap over here between the two kind of insulations is called as node of Ranvier. Okay, it's a node of Ranvier, which is the part which is the between the two kind of insulating sheaths. Is a path. Sometimes from that particular thing there will be a branch coming up, so that is just a node through which another branch can be coming up. So this is the an extra cell covering of the neuron of the nerve fibers which are present in the form of the myelin sheath, which is just on top of it. So yeah, the upper layer is the neurolemma. Neurolemma is the upper layer, and the myelin sheath is the inner layer. Inner layer is the myelin sheath, upper layer is neurolemma. Okay, so this was the figure of a neural tissue, that is the neuron. So this was the neuron tissue, and this also ends the chapter over here. So we have completed this chapter over here, which is the tissue. So we learned the tissues about the animal tissues and the plant tissues and the different kinds of animals and plant tissues. So yeah, we have the summary of the various kind tissues as epithelia, which is squamous, stratified, cuboidal, columnar, ciliated columnar and glandular. Connective, which are fibrous tissues like tendon, ligament, adipose, fascia. Cartilages, bones, fluid like blood and the lymph. Muscular, which is striated or striped and voluntary. Unstriated, unstriped, involuntary. Cardiac, striated, branched, involuntary. And then the neural, which is the neurons, axon from the neural forms the nerve fibers. So this is the complete chapter. Okay, the end of chapter tissues.